design thinking process. It's not contradictory to analytical thinking. You need to explore as much as possible for empathize. But when you define the problem, you need to be analytical. Most of the time, we thought that our idea is perfect, but that's not true, right? Because everyone has their own preference. And especially when we are trying to serve our customer in this project, you need to understand deeply about the customer's need. And you cannot just say that they can eat your product anytime, anywhere, right? I think you have already understood the importance of communication and trying to understand the other person's need. There are some insights that your partner share with you that you might not know before. There might be some surprises, right? Getting feedback makes your design better because the first time you try to guess their preference, but it might not mean that it is their actual preference. Sometimes you can learn a little bit more about yourself through other person's eyes. For today, I want you to understand human-centered design. So human-centered design is based on the users. So it's not just any human being in the world, but based on specifically your target customer, your user. So it's the best if you can point out the persona of that person, like your favorite movie characters, and then try to address their pain and keep them do their jobs that they need to do, help them achieve their gains. And it must be experiment. You will not be able to guess it right since the first place. You will not achieve the most in the first iteration. You will need to develop over time, and it needs to be based on customers' feedback. So I would be disappointed if you don't learn anything in the first iteration, if there's no surprise between what you plan to do and what you discover during the selling parts. At the beginning of the class, I asked you to describe your own customers. And those who can describe customers in detail are those who have already began selling and collected some feedbacks. If you haven't sold anything yet, you cannot describe customers in detail because everything is in assumptions. Make sure that you observe your customers. Probably you never met them in person, but you can observe their social media, right? Whatever channels that they connect with you. And you need to reiterate again and again in order to make sure that you serve their needs. Sometimes customers do not know what they want unless they can see what you show them. So show, don't tell. Please don't ask, what if I create this product? Would you like it? Better questions to ask is, when was the last time you eat snack during football match? If you are trying to sell the chicken skin for football fans, and let them describe it so you understand what kind of snack they prefer. Surprisingly, they might prefer porridge, not snacks. ข้าวต้มโต้รุ่ง I don't know, right? So in that case, you might want to take a picture of ข้าวต้ม and chicken skin together in order to increase more sales of your chicken skin. Observe your customers and show the product. Don't just tell them and ask them hypothetical questions, because previous experience can predict future experience better than their ideal self. And you need to learn and try and learn more and fail again. And that is the gist of design thinking. Design thinking consists of 5 steps. The first one is empathize. And that's when I ask you to get to know your friends better. Actually, it's not just interview. You can immerse in the experience. You can observe target user in supermarket or restaurants as well. And then you need to understand them. The point here is to understand and find out the insights that might surprise you, not anything that you have already known before you empathize customer. And the second one is define. So what is this one? Remember the problem statement. I want you to describe your customers, not just by their name, but who they are, needs to do what, but, or because something, some insights. This is defined. Once you have already understood your customers, you can define their own problem, and then you can ideate possible solutions. This is when you should not judge your own ideas. That's why I asked you to think about 5 radical ideas, different ones, because we generally think about something that we are familiar with in the first place. So the homepage, the first homepage, will not be creative at all. Will be something that you are familiar with. But the 5th homepage will be out of this world. Probably doesn't make sense at all. But it doesn't matter because we generate as many ideas as possible in order to get the feedback from customers. And then we create a prototype that is better than this one because we have already got initial feedback from our customers when we present 5 radical alternatives, right? So we built the prototype and test again. So when did we test? At the time that I asked you to show homepage to your customer and let them give you feedback. And you put it in 4 boxes. The first one is what worked. The second one is what could be improved. The third one is questions. And the fourth one is ideas. This is when you test. And technically, ideally, we should use these feedback and reiterate it again. So create more, improve your prototype. We didn't do it today because we ran out of time. But I just want you to understand design thinking process. And it's not contradictory to analytical thinking. One, you need to explore as much as possible for empathize. But when you define the problem, you need to be analytical because you need to understand what is the gist of your customer, what is the most important thing about your customer, the goal of your customers. So you need to be able to analyze the information, right? And then ideate. Again, you need to go crazy. Otherwise, you will not be able to generate as many ideas as possible. Most of us judge our own ideas, not just judge other people's idea, we judge our own idea as well. And that's why we cannot create 5 radical ideas. Creating 1 idea is easy, 5 ideas are hard. Why? Because we judge, because we thought that, oh, this is not going to work. This is not possible. This is not beautiful. But it doesn't matter. You should be able to come up with as many ideas as possible in order to create a prototype and get the feedback of customers, and then you can reiterate it again because no one gets it perfect since the first place. Make sure that you understand this in your project as well. Make sure that you observe customers a lot, collect information, analyze it, and improve it again.